time for Cigar Talk, the fastest growing cigar show in the nation. Whether you're a new cigar enthusiast or a cigar aficionado, we have something for everyone, bringing you the best interviews, cigar reviews, and weekly giveaways. So grab yourself a cigar.
It's time to light 'em up.
Welcome back, Cigar Talk. I'm your host, Rob Jones. We have co-host Bryant Falconer in the studio. How you doing today, Bryant?
Hey, man, I'm doing good.
Awesome, man. So let's jump right in and talk about what you're smoking.
I'm smoking a JFR Titan. It was a humidor treasure.
I hadn't seen you smoke that in a while.
Yeah, humidor treasure. Jay from the Leaf blessed me with something he found sitting in the humidor. You know, he's doing inventory for the move, and he said he found a box of JFRs, and he's like, he went over there to where the JFR section was. He's like, wait a minute, this doesn't belong here, and he couldn't figure out where it came from. So he went and checked the invoices. It's been there for 4 years.
So it'd be forgotten about.
Yeah, for 4 years.
Wow.
In the humidor.
Did you get them all?
No.
So I can still go get some.
Yes, sir.
Nice. That's a good looking stick,
dude.
So I'm smoking, as once was called, the McAuliffe Unnamed.
Unnamed.
Unknown or unnamed?
I thought it was unnamed. Yeah, it's
I think it was, unnamed. Anyway, it is now called the McAuliffe A.
Yes, sir.
After the ambassadors.
Yes, sir.
The ambassadors named it. And you know what? This is a really good stick.
Always.
And I haven't smoked. Well, you know, it's hard for me because I go to the Medallia so often. So, you know, but I do really like this stick. Yeah, right. So, hey guys, we got a great show coming up for you today.
Yes.
We do have Vice President of Dunbarton Tobacco Trust, David Lafferty, going to join us. You guys probably know Dunbarton Tobacco Trust as Steve Saka Cigar Company. He's got a lot of good smokes, but David's been in the business for a long time. He was with Drew Estate before he was with Dunbarton, and so anyway, he's a great character. You're not going to want to miss his interview. I enjoyed it very much.
Hey, question.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Steve Saka?
Oh, dude, mine is the Sin Comprimiso.
Me too.
Dude. And you should be impressed.
I was just going to say,
because last time I butchered that all to hell.
That rolled up your tongue.
I know, Sin Comprimiso.
Yeah.
I almost feel Spanish.
I was trying to set you up, but you didn't fall for it.
You know, you thought that I would screw it up, but I didn't.
Yes.
So
perfect.
And of course, we're going to be giving you our top pick 6 of the week.
Sir.
We'll be doing the Moose Mountain Goods coffee winner at the end of the show. So make sure you hang around, find out if you're the winner. Now, if you haven't registered, super easy. All you have to do is go by cigartalkpodcast.com, or we actually have a new web address as well. So they're mirror images, so you get the same site, whichever site you go to. But the new one is cigartalkradio.com.
Okay, now give them an education on where Cigar Radio is.
Okay, so here's the deal. Whenever I started Instagram account, it's been about 2 years ago, I guess, I wanted Cigar Talk Podcast.
Yes.
And somebody else already had it. And they don't even do a podcast.
That's the craziness, man.
So I had to go with something different. And, you know, you could do like an underscore.
Yeah.
But I didn't want the underscore.
You just wanted the word.
I wanted one word.
Yeah.
So I went with Cigar Talk Radio. And so now we have the website that falls under, because some people get confused when they see the name on Instagram. Then they go look for Cigar Talk Radio. And there is no radio.
Nope.
So now we got both, so it just makes it easier.
We love you all, so we want to make it easy as we can for you.
Everything as easy as can be.
Yes, sir.
So anyway, let's talk about, well, before I back up, how is that JFR?
Dude, you know how it fit. This cocoa and that white pepper is perfect, man. It's set for 4 years.
It's burning really nice.
It's set for 4 years, and it mellowed. It marinated.
It marinated.
It just, dude.
It's like one of those dry aged steaks. Which, by the way, have you ever had a dry aged steak?
Never.
I have not
I've
either.
heard about it.
Have you ever seen pictures?
Yes.
It's. I don't understand it.
But the way that they describe the reviews of it.
Yeah.
It's like it makes it a little bit mouth-watering for you. Like, oh my God, is it really going to taste like that?
They make it sound amazing.
Like, really?
But I don't understand how you dry age meat, because it's not in a freezer.
No, it's sitting out. It's not jerky.
Right. So I don't understand that. Hey, so we got a new little segment we're going to do. We're going to do the news that you probably missed. This kind of stuff you talk about when you're at the lounge,
Yes.
you know, some weird stuff.
Yes.
So the first one is a guy in Florida this last week
Oh, yeah.
caught a 17-plus footer python.
Dude, did you see?
I did, dude.
He was in the fight, and he's a conservationist, so his job is to remove wild animals like that. But he was in a fight for his life.
Oh, dude, it punctured his artery in his arm. He was covered in blood.
Dude.
But, dude, 17 feet long, weighed 150 pounds. You realize that snake weighs more than my 20-year-old son.
Dude, that thing you saw the mouth on it?
Oh,
that was the mouth of a bucket, man.
Dude, I told my son you could fit a nice-sized watermelon in the mouth of that snake.
And he'd have swallowed it.
Oh, yeah.
He'd have swallowed it whole.
No, thank you. I don't do snakes anyway.
No, sir.
You know,
machete.
Dude, let me tell you something. You've met my older brother, the doctor.
Yes, sir.
So he has this talent where he can make a sound like any animal. And we used to walk through pastures to get to a fishing hole. And the weeds would be about half, knee high.
Yeah.
And he would make the sound of a rattler. And I would drop all my fishing gear and start sprinting. And he'd be laughing.
I just love to see you sprinting first.
Oh, dude, I'd be so pissed because my fishing gear is just scattered in deep weeds. So, anyway, I got him back later on. I'll tell you how later.
It wasn't a joke, was
it? No.
No.
So, anyway, the next part of our wacky news is LeBron James rookie card brought in $57,100 this last week. Dude, 4 years ago, it sold for $7,000. So in 4 years, it went from 7 to 57.
Well, in that 4 years, he did, he already had a ring with the Heat. Then he went back home to Cleveland and got that ring.
Yeah.
So now he has two. Just think if he got one with the Fakers.
The Fakers?
Yeah.
You mean the Lakers?
The Fakers. The Fakers.
Now, are you an anti-Laker guy?
I am a Spurs tried and true.
Now, see, I'm not a Laker fan, but, dude, you have to say they have had some hellacious teams.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I mean,
have too.
Not in that level. Not on that level.
Yeah. Oh, well, I can't say we have just as many championships as the Lakers. No, we can't. Nobody has as many.
How many does Lakers have? It's like 42?
No.
I'm just messing with
The
you.
Celtics got the most.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Bill Russell has, 7 or 8 rings?
Really?
He has more rings than any professional player.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. That's why they're talking about Brady and Jordan and Montana and all this. He said, please. He put up both hands. And it was like covered. He got about 7 or 8 rings.
I did not know that.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me while I'm puffing on my
And he was a Celtic the entire time.
See, I missed that.
Yeah. I didn't either, but, I'm a researcher.
No. I mean, I miss guys staying
with
one team for the life.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, loyalty. From both. From the player and the franchise.
We saw that back in the 90s and before, the 80s, the 70s.
Because you couldn't see Magic with anybody else.
No.
You couldn't see Bird with anybody else.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah. Stayed with the Lakers. Isaiah, nobody else. Jordan left, but he came back. Then he left again. And then he came back as a Wizard. But he was just making his stake that he was going to buy into the team, but he didn't get it. He wound up being with Charlotte, with the what were they called? The Hornets, the Charlotte Hornets. Then, but the point is, there was loyalty on both sides, from the player and the franchise.
Right now, you don't have loyalty on either side.
It's all about business now in all sports.
Yeah, I mean, look at the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I mean, what's going on with Dak right now?
Yeah. The thing is, if Romo hadn't retired, he'd have been with somebody else.
Yeah.
He'd have been with somebody else.
And I wouldn't be as disappointed because I think the circumstances could have helped him out. Because one, I'm not a Cowboy fan as far as the coaching Jason Garrett goes.
Yeah, that's true. You have made that known.
So I'm excited to see what happens this year with McCarthy.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Do we get the McCarthy or do we get the Charlie McCarthy puppeteer?
Oh, yeah.
With Jerry Jones's arm stuck up his butt.
Still pulling all the strings.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens there. So we got one last interest here in the news, and this is the one that it was hilarious. So a woman and her son
Okay.
are driving down the highway 65 miles an hour.
Okay.
A turtle about 12 inches wide and 16 inches long impales the windshield at 65. It's halfway in the windshield and halfway out. The woman freaks out. She thinks they've been hit by an alien because once the turtle's half of his body was in the windshield, his head and legs poked out.
Dude, this is something off Nintendo. You been playing Super Mario Kart.
No.
That's where you got that news from.
Hey, and the turtle lived.
Wow. Wait a minute.
The turtle
How
lived.
strong are tortoise shit? How
I say we
65 miles per hour. That's just as fast as a bullet. Especially to impale the windshield, which is the hardest glass on the car.
I don't think 65 is as fast as a bullet.
Yeah, with something flying at it, yes, it is. You're coming at it at 65
okay. So you're
miles.
doing the
Combined.
Well, I don't know how fast the turtle was going.
It didn't matter. He was going fast enough to go through that windshield.
Right, but he wasn't traveling 65 and they were traveling 65.
If he was traveling 5.
Because here's the people saying, well, how did it get to the windshield? The car in front of it ran over it and it
shot it up. Oh, it flipped it up and then she ran into it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But anyway.
I thought it was like Mario Kart. Mario
I was impressed they didn't wreck.
True.
You know what I
Very
mean?
True.
And she said she caught it out of the corner of her eye and she was just like, what the? Boom. She thought it was a brick. But.
To notice that it was a turtle, though, man. That was. Yeah, I think I'd have thought it was an alien. Too.
Right?
Like, what the? Looking up in the air, especially after we stopped and, you get your composure, you're like, where in the hell did that come from?
Let me tell you something. I forgot how much I like these McAuliffe A's.
Oh, yeah.
It is smooth.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the burn on this.
We got you a good one, bro.
Yeah.
Got you a good one.
Hey, well, speaking of McAuliffe, let's go ahead and talk about our sponsor.
4 to 42?
4 to 42.
Oh, wait a minute. No, that's incorrect. 4 to 42.
I'm going to let you say that. I'm going to go with 4 to 42.
4 to 42.
So there's a price for every cigar smoker out there.
Yes, sir.
Because we've said it before. If you can't afford a $4 stick, you might as well stay home.
Yeah.
And watch some free TV.
True, because I understand it, but
hey, I've
4
been
to 42. I definitely been there. 4 to 42. They have a blend for every palate. They
16 blends.
Yes. How many?
46 Viatolas.
Yes,
dude.
And what's the new thing they doing?
Oh, yeah, we haven't even talked about that.
No.
So the McAuliffe Passport. So every time I think that they've topped and they can't top it again,
here we go.
They just keep on. It's like,
here we go.
Left, right,
Yep.
left. Dude, they're knocking it out of the park.
They're hitting us like Ali in his prime.
Yeah. So you guys, especially the ambassadors, if you're not an ambassador, go by the website, cigartalkpodcast.com. There's a link. Become an ambassador. You get a free coin.
Free.
With your own personal number on it.
Free.
So anyway, this passport program, it gives you the opportunity to try all 16 blends, 46 Viatolas.
Okay.
And after you finish the passport, you turn it in.
Okay.
First place gets an all-expense-paid trip for 2 to the McAuliffe headquarters.
Oh, that's cool.
That is cool.
That's cool.
And I don't remember it saying it on there, but I can't even imagine that it doesn't include meeting Al himself.
It has to be.
Because Al will be there.
Yeah, and he going to take him out to eat.
So,
but see, he'd be willing to pay this time, unlike other times.
Hey, you know what? Last time I saw him, he told me, Rob, I got you anytime you come. I think he figured out that, it's not happening.
It's not happening.
So Rob just doesn't pay. No. But anyway, yeah. So second place, though, was amazing, too. And that is $1,000 to spend at your local brick and mortar that carries the McAuliffe brand.
That's a blessing.
That's a blessing.
That takes
twice.
care of, the consumer and the brick and mortar.
And if I won, it'd be taking care of my friends, too.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? You mean if I go to a cigar shop with $1,000 to spend, I might even buy you a Monte Cristo.
Oh, Lord. Wait a minute. Hold up. I walked in here, it was 92 degrees. I might walk out and it's snowing in Texas.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't.
See?
But, I might. So, anyway, you guys go to the website, check that out. You go to our webpage, click on the link, take you over there, get you signed up. So, let's get started with our pick six this week.
Yeah, sure.
So,
first.
You know what? I'm going to let you go.
Okay. Well, my number one this week, you saw it on my Facebook, was the Aladino, Connecticut.
Oh, good smoke.
Bruh.
Good smoke.
Bruh.
So where'd you get that?
Jerry's.
Now, that was a shocker, wasn't it?
Because your mindset is it's a smoke shop, first of all. So
Not a cigar shop, a smoke shop.
So you think it's just cigarettes and paraphernalia for other things. And then you walk in there and, it doesn't take your mind too far off of it. And I asked, I said, okay. She said, how can I help you? I said, I want a Aladino, Connecticut. She's like, huh? I said, it's a cigar. So she walked me around the side and it's behind glass back there with them. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is a smoke shop because they're keeping everything away from you.
Right.
So you don't walk out with anything.
No 5-finger discount.
And then we're looking and I said, oh, there it is right there. She pulls it up. Now, I think it was like 5 left in there. I said, I want 2 of those. And as she was moving, I said, wait a minute. Does that say my father's? And she's like, huh? I said, that jar right there. And she pulled it up and I said, Leber's U 1920. I was like, oh, I need one of those.
I'll take one of them too.
And then I was like, I need to get out of here because I didn't come with that much cash on me at this time.
Hey, it doesn't take a minute.
Bruh, but it amazed me that they had, and it wasn't just those, the Macanudos. I saw,
they had Monte Cristo in there too.
Cristos, but I didn't see them until after I had asked for those 3 sticks.
They should throw the Monte
Anyway,
Cristos away.
I'm not talking to you. I looked at, I got those 3 and I saw the Monte Cristos and everything else. I was like, wait a minute. I may have to stop by here every once in a while, but because of the Aladinos.
Dude, I was blown away because I told you I went in there looking for the Psycho.
Yep.
Hadn't had one in a long time. I was just in the mood to try it again. And when I saw the Aladino in there, I was like, holy cow. It was like it was one of those roses under glass, with the sun beaming down on it.
You reaching down in the swamp. Wait a minute, is that a pearl?
Yeah, exactly.
But it was just like it was a different. I mean, it just gave me a different perspective on Jerry's. It did. The Leaf is my spot, but there are things that are not there, and this Aladino, Connecticut is not there, and it's right here. And I was like, I can't believe this, man.
And dude, what'd you think about the construction on that Aladino, Connecticut?
I'm telling you, I smoked the first one, and I was like, this thing it's just dynamite. So I was thinking about I was going to save the second one because I knew you were going to go up there. And I thought those 5 were going to be the last. So I was like, I know Rob going to get those 3. The next day at lunch, man, I had to smoke those.
Well, let me tell you this. What day did you go up there?
Monday. I went Monday.
So I want to say I went Friday.
Okay.
And I went in there, and the first thing she said was, oh, there was a guy coming here with the logo like that on your shirt, but on his hat.
Yeah, that was
and
because I had my hat
that's
on.
My partner right there.
I had my hat on.
And so I bought 3. And I was going to, have like one a day with my coffee. I smoked all 3 that day.
You can't hold up.
Man. They're
not
just
hold
so
out,
smooth.
dude. But they are. Because like I said, I wanted to put one in the bottom, but it didn't make it.
I hear you.
It didn't make it.
So what you got for number 2?
Aromacraft Whiskey Rebellion.
Oh, nice.
That was from
the show pack.
Yes,
That's right.
sir.
Good smoke.
I smoked that one at lunch one day, man. And it was gratifying because I was going through a rough day and I sat there and I smoked down. I was like, yeah, I can finish the day off.
What made it a rough day?
It was headquarters.
Oh.
That's all I got to say, headquarters.
The red tape. The bureaucrat.
As Bill used to say, the bureaucratic red tape.
Yeah.
It got me and I was like, oh, goodness, man. But, after that Whiskey Rebellion, I had a renewed look on life for the remainder of the day, so I went and fought it out. And I really enjoyed it. I had me a little bit of unsweet tea with it, and it was just like, perfect, bro.
Nice.
Perfect. And my number 3 was a Juarez.
Oh, good. Hey, also from the show pack. Good smoke, man. Good
Dude, I
smoke.
smoked that at Home Depot in the parking lot.
Damn.
Man, I had about a 2-inch ash on it start, and I was like, oh, I'm going to make this. And it was just perfect. The flavor, the burn, the look, everything. I grabbed my poker, stuck it in there. I'm finna take this one. I'm finna take this one all the way to the head. Man, I got about another 1/2 centimeter, and it just dropped. I said, oh. Gosh, no.
So you brought out the poker.
Yes, because I wanted, but I still smoked it down to the poker. I was like, I love this thing. When I flicked it off, it was just like the cap.
Well, I'd like the diversity in your top 3.
Okay,
good choices. Good choices.
Hey, I had a good week.
I mean, and those are all 3 very different sticks.
Very different.
Very different. So my week was I had some interesting cigars this week. My number 1 is the collaboration between the Leaf and Esteban.
Okay.
And I got to tell you, man, that was a unique, special stick. It was full power. It was a powerhouse.
Okay.
And it had a nice roller coaster blend, nice, complexity. It was all over the place. And it was just real rich.
And that's what you were looking for.
Oh, yeah. And that's what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
Because it's a very limited edition cigar.
And then
hard to get a hold of.
Yeah, and then Esteban and...
well, now, see, that didn't make the top 3. I also had the collaboration between Island Jim and The Leaf. And you probably saw me post a picture on it on
that
Instagram.
Was that picture.
Because I cut it with my deep V cutter, and it was completely plugged.
With a deep V?
Yeah,
wow.
Completely. And so then I grabbed my bayonet knife that's sitting next to my desk, and I just whacked it.
Wait a minute, you whacked it?
I whacked it. I didn't saw it. I didn't cut it. I whacked it.
Please tell me, well, you still got all 10 fingers,
yeah.
So you did move it.
You know what? I actually was holding it with my hand, and I was getting ready to whack it, and then I said, I don't want to lose a finger. So I just laid it on the table and whacked it with no hold.
Okay. You weren't that angry with it.
Now, but I will say, after I whacked it in half, I smoked the second half. It smoked fine.
It smoked fine.
It was ugly.
It was ugly, but it was ugly. It smoked fine.
Like half of the wrapper was torn off.
He got one of them that Bugs Bunny gave Elmer Fudd.
Yes. But you know what? It was okay smoke afterwards, but I was just pissed because that's the one thing that drives me crazy is a plug cigar.
Oh, plug cigar.
I mean, you feel like you just roll down the window and toss $10 out the window.
The window, man.
You know what I mean?
A stick is an investment. It's not like you're going to buy a White Owl, a Philly. You're purchasing a premium tobacco product, and when it doesn't fulfill what you expect from it.
Well, and I agree with you, but it's even on a higher level than that because you spend $10. Yeah, I've thrown $10 away on other stuff I didn't need. So it's not just the $10. It's when you're getting ready to sit down and enjoy that cigar, you cut it and you're in the zone
yes, sir.
To relax and enjoy, and it's plugged. You're just like
angry.
Yeah, I'm not even going to say the words that come to my mind.
You sit there, your eyes go white, your skin turns green,
and my bayonet comes out. Yeah, don't mess with my bayonet. So anyway, I was real pleased though with the Esteban and the Leaf collaboration.
Gotcha.
Great stick, but I had 2 of the Island Jim and the Leaf collaborations.
Okay, how was the second
Both of them were plugged.
Oh.
Both of them. I was very disappointed. So that being said, though, I'm not holding it against either one of them. I still like both of those brands because my second cigar this week is the Island Jim.
I can understand.
Dude, I picked up
man.
a couple of those when I was over at the train car. And let me tell you what's funny. In fact, I was talking to Nick from Cigar Pulpit, and I was like, "Hey, man, have you ever had the Maui Jim?" And he was like, "No, I don't know what you're talking about." And I was like, the Maui Jim, and he was like, "No, I don't. I've never had that cigar." And I was like, "Dude, I'm gonna get you one." So when I picked up the Island Jim, I bought 2, thinking I was gonna mail one to Nick.
Okay.
And then when I told Nick, I go, "Oh, this is an Island Jim." He's like, "Oh, yeah, I've had one of those." So then I smoked it.
Yeah, I don't need to give you this. You've already experienced it.
That's right.
It's staying here.
I called him up and I was like, "Hey, that cigar I told you I was going to mail you?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "That's the Island Jim, not the Maui Jim." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And I said, "Yeah," and I smoked it. So anyway, sorry about that, Nick. So my number 3 cigar of the week.
Okay.
This is going to be probably something that is going to surprise you.
Come on, say it.
I went with the Medallia. Dude, let me tell you something. Over the weekend, I put away some Dickel. You can see.
Yes, it has disappeared.
In fact, I need to put the cork back on the bottle.
That's the thing about it. He wasn't drinking out of a glass.
That's true.
He was taking it to the head every time. I'm sitting there like, dude, really?
A glass was not available. So sometimes you have to make adjustments.
Yes, you have to adapt and overcome.
That's right. And you know what? It's really not that much difference.
But here's my thing. I can see on your tombstone, Rob Jones, great father, loving husband, medallion smoker. Gonna be missed by McAllen.
Now that's funny. That's funny.
Oh my goodness, man.
You know what? I'm okay with that. That's
You
not
are?
funny. That'd be funny. So, anyway, guys, that's our pick 6 for the week. We do have Mr. David Lafferty coming up next, so we'll be right back after the break. Don't go anywhere. Hey guys, thanks for hanging through the break. You guys have a great guest to listen to today. I've been trying to get him on the show for a long time. He's been super busy. He works for an amazing tobacco company. He is the Vice President of Sales of Dunbarton Tobacco Trust. We have David Lafferty on the show. How you doing today, David?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. Oh, thank you for taking the time to join us, man. I've been looking forward to your interview. I'm a big fan of your cigar line, and I don't have full access to it. We don't have a lot of it in my area, but I usually go to Lubbock, and there's a shop up there called Good Karma, and they carry quite a big line of your cigars, and I always have to pick up a sack full when I go up there. So I do love your work.
Good Karma treats us well. I was just out with them. I did a week in Texas and a week out in California just before sort of all the COVID shutdown started. So it was good to get out there.
Oh, well, good. So you know Brad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, big fan of Brad. We've had him on the show before. In fact, the story goes back that my first real legitimate cigar experience was from Good Karma in Lubbock. I'd smoked cigars for years off and on, but the light didn't pop on until I went to the Good Karma and got a good smoke over there one time.
Yeah, I like to harass Todd quite a bit with different stuff. So he's good people.
Yeah,
and try to just get involved in.
Oh, yeah, we had Todd on the show one time it's been over a year ago, but we did a show up there in Fort Worth at their new shop, and I had to give him a rub because I thought it was awfully nice of him to build a shop for the people at Texas Tech before he bought one for the guys at TCU. So,
what I love about being out in Texas is all the different rivalries.
Right.
There's school rivalries. There's brisket rivalries.
Oh,
there are so many different rivalries when you're out there. It's beautiful.
We are very competitive people. So tell us a little bit about your history. Before we started recording, I was talking to David a little bit, and you said you've been smoking cigars for 30 years. What got you into the cigar community originally?
So there's a couple different things. One of the things that got me in was growing up as a kid. My great-grandfather passed away a couple months shy of turning 104.
Wow.
And that old man always had a cigar dangling off his lips. So when you were growing up, if you were out in the backyard with Grandpa, well, it wasn't encouraged, but if you happened to take a little puff off the cigar while you spent time with Grandpa, it was they turned a blind eye to it. If they catch you smoking cigarettes, you got a whooping.
Oh,
so that was no good. So just so that my uncle smoked cigars, my great grandfather smoked cigars, and it was at the time I only had to be 18, so it's kind of just out of high school. Started smoking cigars on when I say a fairly regular basis, not like daily, but the occasions my friends and I would get cigars. It was just before the cigar boom really kicked in, and I was working at this bank doing some stuff, and next door was this newsstand called Cooper's Newsstand, and it was the old school newsstand and like real deal soda fountain in there, and tobacco, and they had cigars. So I sort of got into cigars doing that. But what really got me into the cigar community was one of my local shops in Rhode Island where I grew up was a big sort of community online member with Fuente Newman's Cigar Family website. And, Drew Newman, when he was a kid, put this thing together and just became this like message board. And that's really what got me into the cigar community, is we had a large group of people, call them the NEFPC, the New England Fire Pit Crew.
Oh, no kidding.
And, there was a large group of people that would talk on the message board, but get together in real life at these brick and mortar shops. And I became a huge, Fuente smoker back then. Still really loved Cameroon. I'm a big fan of the Don Carlos. I'm a big Cameroon fan. But that is what got me involved with sort of hanging out and herping and that actual cigar community that was there.
Now, about what year was this, did you say?
So this was about getting involved with the cigar family stuff was 98 or 99.
Wow. So, there's two things that I'm taking away from this. One is you were getting into the cigar community, but the other, it sounds like you were a computer nerd.
I was a little bit of a geek when it came to that, but it became geeky of trying to track down shops that had stuff that I was looking for.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, you were doing social media before people even knew what social media was.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, getting involved with all those things. Just the online. JR had a JR bulletin board back in the day. There was Cigar Family, Cigar Weekly. Just those online content stuff, because like you had said, you don't have a lot of things that are around you out in Abilene. It was the same type of thing. You're like, man, they got people around the country that have access to shops that have other things that I can't get at things that are near me, and that's when sort of the boom was still going on.
Wow.
So getting online and talking to other people in other parts of the country, where they had local access to things that you were possibly looking for, and going back and forth, and online cigar trading. But it was a different vibe back then. I think it's changed a lot now, where I see people talking about, oh, I got this deal. Like, oh, it was 50 cigars for $25 and they suck, but I got a great deal.
Right.
But you don't want to smoke them. It's like not a great deal, but you really got to hold your nose to smoke. Yeah, but it's a great deal.
My humidor is completely full.
Yeah, if my humidor's full, I don't want to smoke it.
Right.
So, but you're like, why did you buy that? Why did you do that?
Well, it's funny.
I'm not dogging other people's product, but it's the consumer that's saying this isn't very good.
Right.
I want a bunch because I got a good deal. So,
yeah, but I love that idea that you were in like different cigar communities through forums. And I mean, it's so funny because I mean, on Instagram and Facebook and everything that we have today, I'm in tons of different groups, but one of the groups that I'm in is the New England. I think it's the New England. I'm in so many, I have to think about this, but I think I'm in
New England Cigar Militia.
Yes.
Kevin's group.
Yes. Oh,
yeah.
Kevin's great people. In fact, we had him on the show, but yeah, those are great guys over there. And so when you're talking about back in the 90s doing that same thing, that's amazing. I mean, you guys were on the frontier of building communities through the internet when it was all words, no pictures.
But the weird part about it, and the very hypocritical part about it, is my kids were becoming teenagers at the time, my daughters, and I'd tell them, don't talk to people online. Don't do this. Like, you went to so-and-so's house. Didn't you meet them online? I'm like, as soon as I say that.
That's hilarious.
And I'm usually trying to be the lead by example, Pat, but I didn't really have a great answer for them on that one.
You were like, cigars trump safety.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
So after you got into the cigar community, as far as smoking cigars, tracking down these unique cigars that you loved, how did you get into the cigar industry, so to speak?
It was very strange. Just, right place, right time, right connection. And I had worked for a member of Congress for 10 years, and I traveled back and forth between Rhode Island and DC and wherever else in the world we were going. And then he was on the Armed Services Committee, the Homeland Security Committee, and the Intelligence Committee. And I used to, liaise with all the different alphabet soup groups and things like that. It was with him. And my now ex-wife, my daughters are teenagers, and she said, I need you here. I can't have you traveling. I need you home. And I left working in DC, and I came home. I'm spend a little time at home and figure out what I was going to do after that. And my friend had worked for Drew Estate, and he got a job offer from Oliva. So Oliva at the time had used nothing but brokers, and they were going in-house, and he got a job with Oliva, and they shrunk his territory and paid him more money. And he said, John Drew had a partner, Marvin Samuel, and he said, Marvin's in town, we're doing some events, I think you guys have hit it off. And we did, we hit it off, and I went to one event he did in Rhode Island, and the shop sort of vouched for me because they knew me. And then they did an event out in Connecticut a few hours away, and they vouched for me because they knew me. And Marvin said, man, you drive 3 hours to come hang out at a cigar shop? I'm like, yeah, like the guys here, we do this. He's like, you could be a rep. And that's kind of where it started. I started in 2007, mid-2007, as the New England and upstate and Western New York rep. Covered all of New England, and then out New York. I didn't cover the city of the five boroughs or Long Island, but covered everything out to Niagara Falls on the U.S. side, tip of Maine. And it was a significant territory. And then in 2008, I got promoted to be regional manager, and I managed our sales force east of the Mississippi. And they said, we want you to teach the guys how to work smarter and not harder and try and work through some efficiencies. And, just sort of made my way through the ranks. I spent 11 years at Drew Estate and eventually left as the director of national accounts. So all the large web catalog wholesale accounts were mine. They were my
Wow. So how long were you with? How long were you with Drew Estate?
I was there for 11 years.
Oh, okay.
I was for 11 years, and I still get a lot of good friends over there. A lot of times the question will come up. People are like, "Oh man, you left because of Swisher." Absolutely not. No, I love Swisher.
Right.
They were great. They were great when they came in, and people are like, what's the big differences? I'm like, the big difference is my medical coverage is now by a company called Blue Cross. You might have heard of it, as opposed to what we had before. And my 401k plan is a legitimate company and not somebody's cousin that I'm just really concerned might not actually be there. They were good. They knew that they knew mass market and not really premium, and let Drew do its own thing. But they were very, very supportive with a lot of stuff. And I left them, excuse me, and I went over to Nat Sherman International for around a year. And Nat Sherman, it's a brand that, coming from New England and the Northeast corridor, it's a brand that is very, very well known. It's like a hometown brand to a lot of us. And back in the day, when my brother and I would take the train into New York City, go spend some time in the city, we'd take a train to the Grand Central, and we'd walk across the street over the, right up the street to Fifth Avenue. We'd go to Nat Sherman, we'd smoke a cigar, and then we'd go out to the city, for the day, for whatever we were going to do. And it was a really great opportunity to be, their executive director, and I knew a lot of the people that were over there. And it was just good for my family. It was really a quality of life.
And where'd you work? What was the work location when you were with Nat Sherman?
So it was in New Jersey. There's Edgewood, New Jersey. Englewood, New Jersey is where the corporate headquarters are, and the retail townhouse is in Manhattan on the corner of 42nd and Fifth Avenue. So the New Jersey office is only 20 minutes from my house. Real simple, no highway. Just head on over there and work out of that. Or when people ask, how long does it take you to get into the city? I said, well, I could tell you that I am 20 miles outside the city, and it could. Right. But I worked mostly out of the office, and it was good. I could spend more time with my family, and it was really good quality of life. Great company, enjoy the product, enjoy the people. And then I was there for about 9 months or so. And Saka, I worked for Steve back in the Drew Estate days, and we've been friends for a very, very long time. And we spoke, and he said, Dave, I know how to make great cigars. I know how to work with factories. I hate sales and every aspect of it. I'd like you to come here and deal with that. And I really love Steve and Cindy. They're great people. And I joke that, the cigar business, tobacco business is run by liars. For someone, with someone that you're not constantly concerned how are they going to screw you over, is a nice place to be. And I really love the cigars that Steve, puts together. The very similar flavor profile for the products that we do. It's not like it's something that's outside my wheelhouse of, I think it's really good, but I don't really smoke it myself type of thing.
Right.
Smoke all of our products. It's just really, I'm really blessed to have the opportunity and be where I am and be with the people that I'm with.
Yeah, I think that your line of cigars that you carry are just amazing on all the sticks that I've had. And so to be able to work for a company that you love their product, I mean, that's super important. I mean, I don't know if that's the most important thing, because you got to be able to work with the people that you work with. But as far as the product goes, I can't even imagine every day being like, oh yeah, I'm going to smoke this Comprimiso. Tell me that how do you say the one cigar that I love? I can't say it. Comprimiso?
Sin Comprimiso.
Yeah, there you go.
Sin Comprimiso.
I'm a pure white boy from Texas, and my Spanish is not where it should be.
It definitely can be thrown off by a lot of people. So Sin Comprimiso is our flagship line. The two flagships are the Sin Comprimiso and the Muestra de Saca, which are the coffin cigars.
Oh yeah.
Our Mi Querida line is difficult for a lot of people to pronounce. It's our broadleaf Maduro Nicaraguan binder and filler, but that is my go-to. Like, I smoke those.
Now, is that the red band or the blue band?
So the blue band I can really do, one after the next and keep on going. The red band, so there's a Mi Querida red band called Tricky Traca, Triquitraca. And what the Tricky Traca is, it's an offshoot of Mi Querida. So it has the Connecticut broadleaf Maduro, but it's the number one dark from the very top of the plant. It has Nicaraguan binder and filler, but it also has some Dominican Lajero in it. So there's a shop in New Hampshire called Two Guys Smoke Shop. Dave Garofalo owns it. And every year they do a release of a cigar that's called the Firecracker. It's a little, I want to say it's like 3 inches by 50, and it looks like the cap looks like a wick that comes off of it, so it looks like a firecracker. And Dave makes a different one every year, and he asked Steve to make one from Mi Querida. But really, I love Saka, but in classic Saka fashion, he didn't completely listen to what Dave was requesting, because what they normally do is it's the exact same blend as something else. It's just the size is different. But when Steve heard Firecracker, he decided, it's supposed to be strong, so he amped up the strength and the components and had that Dominican Lajero that was in there to really make it pop. So the Tricky Traca, even though it had the blue band on it, it was called the Firecracker. So the Tricky Traca blend, Tricky Traca, the name is a long string of firecrackers they laid off out of Nicaragua during festivals, or like big M80s. So the Tricky Traca blend is really that firecracker blend, just in additional size.
Oh, okay, cool, man. Well, I tell you what,
so the red band is stronger.
You guys make awesome cigars, and the funny thing is, I told you I can't pronounce those fancy names that you guys have, but twice in the last few months, Saka Cigars has made our top cigars of the week, and I promise you, I completely butchered the name, but everybody knew that they were the cigar of the week.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate that, and we definitely do have some some names that'll throw people off a bit. Elegante and Cedros and October Cervantes Fino, and people are like, can you just call it a Robusto?
Hey, you know what's funny is I just call it the blue band, the red band, or the cigar with the Irish cross on it. So how long have you been at Dunbarton and Tobacco and Trust?
A little over a year.
Okay. And
one day blends into the next lately, so hard to tell.
So I got to ask you this, who smokes more cigars, you or Steve?
Oh, Steve, hands down.
Hands down. Okay, I didn't know where you fall in that.
Hands down, no. Well, I'll also explain why a little bit. So Steve smokes in his home, so it's not like he has a smoking room. So our office is in New Hampshire, and we're in sort of an office complex. We don't smoke in the office, and anything that we have to do, Steve generally works from home or Nicaragua or the road. So if we need to do things together, we'll meet up at the house. So we're at his kitchen table smoking cigars. So he smokes over 10 cigars a day.
Awesome. I heard that. In fact, I saw an interview with him where he said ballpark figure at the time he had probably smoked around 75,000 cigars.
So one of the ways that he can tell roughly how many cigars he smokes in a year is because his wife Cindy is the VP of the company and handles everything office wise, but she is also the person she is the toll keeper. so she keeps a tally of everything that is taken out of inventory for him to smoke, and at the end of the year he has to cut a check personally to pay for those cigars, and he does not get a break on it.
No way.
As if it was sold to an account.
That is awesome.
Wholesale, but he's not paying cost.
That is awesome.
He gets a bill at the end of the year. It's sort of like when I tell people, man, how many nights a year I'm on the road, I sort of keep a running tally of how many nights in particular hotel chains that I've stayed at. He can sort of add it up that way for how long you've been. So he gets an invoice at the end of the year that he has to pay the company back with.
That is hilarious.
It was quite a definite day. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, what's funny about that is whenever he said that he'd smoked about 75,000 cigars, I was like, that's a man who inspires me. That's a man that inspires me. Not because he's a great blender, because I could never do that, but I could smoke 75,000 cigars.
Right. Absolutely. And me, if I'm there and I'm with him and we're in an area or if we're out at an event doing a festival, I will go through quite a few cigars. And I'm a fairly aggressive smoker. I smoke very quick.
I smoke very quick too.
It's one of the reasons I don't smoke a lot of Connecticut shade cigars, because I over smoke the wrapper and they get very bitter on me. They get hot and bitter, and it's me. It's operator error, and I have to slow down. But I also don't want to slow down, so that's one of the reasons why I smoke a lot of the meat Carita and that Connecticut broadleaf. It can take a beating.
Yes, yes.
It can deal with me and my aggressive smoking.
That's a great teaching point for all the fast smokers out there. That's something very good to know. Is that kind of leaf, it can handle it, because I'm a fast smoker too. And let me ask you this, David, do you put your cigar on the ashtray very often?
It varies on where I am. Sometimes I'll get a little OCD and I put it down quite a bit. Generally, it's just in my hand. But I try to keep a little bit of ash on it, but not too much, just to try and keep the cherry a little cooler.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I know that I'm smoking it too quickly. How about yourself? Are you put the cigar down? Or not?
I rarely ever put the cigar down, and I hate. Now, this is just for me personally, but I hate having a long ash. I keep it to where the ash is probably about an inch long or less. If it's longer than an inch, I know it's going to fall off and burn a hole in my shirt.
At the worst possible moment.
Right. So I smoke, like I hang out with a buddy of mine and we smoke cigars together, and he'll smoke one cigar and I usually smoke 2 cigars for his one.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't say there's a right way and a wrong way. I think that you should just smoke whatever makes you happy and you enjoy.
100%. And a lot of people, I'll get, and it's not completely a newbie question, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way, but people will also ask, how far down should I smoke a cigar? My response is, until you're no longer enjoying it.
Exactly. And it differs. It differs between cigars, because some cigars, when it gets down to the band or a little bit past that, I'm done. But there's some cigars I don't want to quit smoking, and I want to get as much of it as I can.
Absolutely. But I do tell a lot of people, like, I say, are you enjoying it right now? Well, I'm not enjoying it, but I'm like, light up another. And again, I say that, and that can be such a condescending statement to people, because they're like, F you, Dave. Like, you've got a bunch of cigars, you didn't pay for them. Like, it's easy for you to say, pitch this. I spent $13 on this. I want to get all of it out of it. But like, if you're not enjoying it anymore,
quit smoking it.
Quit smoking it. It's the same. If I go out to a restaurant and I've got I'm eating something, I get to the point where I'm like, man, I'm just not doing it for me anymore. And I'm a fat guy and I like to eat, but very rarely does it have to be like, this really isn't doing it for me anymore. I think I'm done with it.
Right.
My mom's not here to hit me and tell me that I'm wasting money in this starving children someplace. So I can say I'm not going to have that. So.
Well, that's hilarious.
It's a simple question. People, when people ask me what's the best cigar that you guys make, and I say it's the one that you enjoy the most.
Absolutely.
Really, it varies. I mean, you could be someone who really wants to try the Sober Mesa Brulee or Connecticut Shade. It's really mild and creamy, super nutty. It's a great smoke. You might go to the opposite end of the spectrum. Like we have a line called Todos Los Dias. It's actually it's incorrect grammar, but it's sort of a joke that Steve, with his Spanglish, it should be Todos Los Dias is the actual grammatically correct way, but he's always Todos Los, and he also couldn't get the trademark on Todos Los, but could get it on Todos Los, which is nuts.
That's hilarious.
But it's a Nicaraguan Puro, binder, wrapper, filler, Nicaraguan Puro. It is a full-bodied cigar. I mean, it is. You light that up, it's going to be strong, and it is super full. So when people ask me, which one should I try? It varies on what cigar you like, where your mind sits at. Other things that you don't take into consideration And you should take into consideration these things sometimes when you get older. Like, do you take blood pressure medication? Do you take a medication during the day? Is your pH level in your mouth different at one part of the day versus another? Do you have acid reflux? So what the experience you're going to get in your mouth smoking a cigar could also change different portions of the day. So you'll have a different experience with the exact same cigar, different parts of the day. And that just becomes like a technical inside baseball thing that your listeners probably don't even want to care about.
No, that's a lot of great information, because that's, I mean, I've been smoking for years and I've never thought about, whether I take medication or not, because my whole thing is people ask me, what's your favorite cigar? And I usually just say, I like them all. And I don't mean I like all brands, all cigars, but I like Connecticut's, I like light, I like medium, I like full, I like every cigar in between. It just depends on what I'm doing, what I'm drinking, what time of day it is. So I don't have I'm not a full bold smoker on every cigar, of course, but I do enjoy those. But I'm also a very light Connecticut. I mean, I really do enjoy all different aspects of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, completely. It's a really good time to be a cigar smoker. There's a lot of good product that's out there. There's a lot of people that are putting a lot of energy into making good products. So we do our best every day to try and make things that are really exceptional. We know that our products are not a value play, and we want to make sure that when someone comes and smokes something from Dunbarton and has that experience, they feel like, you know what, this is a little bit more expensive, but I can see the value that's here. I'm really getting what I'm paying for.
Well, I like that you say that, because every cigar I buy, the experience that I have from that cigar, I look at how much that cost and I determine what the value of that cigar was based on how good the cigar was. And I can tell you that I think that your cigar line is a value on the price point that you guys have. And I say that because I've smoked cigars that are, $10. And after I got done, I was like, well, that's a $5 cigar. And then I've smoked cigars that are $15. And I'm like, well, that was a $30 cigar. You know what I mean? So I constantly am looking at the value versus what I paid. And you guys are actually very valuable for what you charge for the cigars, because you guys are spot on.
Well, thank you. One of our lines, our Moestra de Saka line, which is samples of Saka. It's the only line. Each one is an individual blend. So it's not like, oh, you like the Exclusivo, you like the Naka Tamale. Each one is different, and we don't disclose what the blend is. It's sort of like it's being able to try things that are sort of like the master maker is his samples. These are the Moestra de Saka line. They're individually coffin cigars, and their MSRP is $17.95 a stick. Well, $17.95 a stick, that's a lot of money for a cigar. It is. I can be just saying that it's an expensive cigar from the higher end. But if you look at other coffin cigars that are in the marketplace, they're generally $22 to $25, if not higher, for a cigar. So while $18 is not an inexpensive cigar, it's on the lower end of the spectrum for coffin cigars.
Well, I'm gonna say a name here, and so I hate to bash people, but this is just my personal opinion. But you take that cigar at $17.99 and compare it to like an Andalusian Bull, which is like $16. I would rather buy for $17.99 because that's a value versus marketing. You know what I mean? And I know you don't want to bash on another company, but I'm just saying I think the marketing was fantastic on that cigar for the Andalusian Bull, but I don't feel like I get $16 worth of value. It's a great photo opportunity stick, but as far as smoking, I would rather go with your cigar at $18.
Well, I appreciate that. What I can say is I haven't tried an Andalusian Bull, or one of the reasons I haven't tried it is because every single stick that goes out the door is sold to somebody, and it's never been on the shelf. So they're absolutely doing something incredible right with that.
Their marketing is phenomenal.
I haven't had a chance to try it yet. I'll give John Carney a hard time the next time that we the next time that we talk.
Yes,
I'll do that pain in the ass. Like, I know you got something in the car, bro. You got to give me. Come on, I know you got.
Well, you know,
everybody always thinks we have a secret stash somewhere, and there's some random honey hole, and we're all just lying because it's the cigar business. Where it's like, I know that you can get me 3 unicorns, but we don't have unicorns.
Are you out of those? Are those gone?
Well, no, we do have them now, but we just got them in. We just got them in recently. So there's only 1,000 cigars a year.
Right.
And, you know, they're $100 a piece. So the unicorn cigar, for those that don't know, it's a diadema size 6 1/4 by 60 Figurado. There's 1,000 cigars that get sold each year. And what it is, it started off as a little bit of a joke and a little bit of a thumb in the eye to the cigar industry, where Steve was out on the road and he's in these different humidors and he's looking, and, you know, there's different companies that have very high-end cigars and very expensive cigars.
Sure.
Companies like Davidoff have a $500 stick, and they have some of their stuff that's a $125 and $150. But, you know, they've been, you know, doing cigars for generations. But there's been a lot of cigars that were out there that were $100 of companies that he'd never even heard of, and just very, very expensive cigars. And Steve said, how much money would I have to piss away to have to charge $100 for a cigar? Like, what? How insanely stupid throwaway money would I have to do? So it includes the molds that were made for the cigars. He hand lathed the molds himself. Every single piece of tobacco that goes into the unicorns is hand selected by Steve.
Wow.
So when we say we make 1,000 cigars a year, it's not true. We actually make around 3,000 to 4,000 cigars a year. And then at the end, Steve selects the 1,000 unicorns that he finds to be the perfect unicorns, and then destroys the other cigars.
Now, I thought you were going to say he smokes the rest.
No. He destroys them, because if we were to do something else with it, it would actually change the value. And it wouldn't be. So everything that we make, and I'll say it because Steve has said it a lot. Normally people don't talk about their pricing model. Everything we make and the price that it comes to is on a 40%. We just sort of, hey, what are the costs? Okay, add 40% to it, and that's what our wholesale price is.
Hey, I like it.
It turns to, like, the unicorn. At the end of the day, the unicorns roughly cost, you know, $30 and change, which then adds a 40% margin markup to it to get to where the wholesale price is, to get to be $100 cigar. And, you know, that's what people ask me, you know, what is it worth it? I said, it's worth it if you think it's worth it. And the cigars themselves, they're incredible. But I tell people, listen, you might not. It's the splurge. It's the wedding cigar. It's the birth of a child cigar. It's the special marker in life cigar that you say, you know what, I'm going to splurge. I'm going to smoke this unicorn because of A, B, or C. In the same way that I say, you know, you might go to the steakhouse and you generally get, you know, you get your ribeye, you like your 28-day age, you know, prime ribeye. But every now and again you go, ooh, they got Kobe beef on the menu. I'm going to try 3 ounces of Kobe beef. And you pay the crazy price on Kobe beef, and you say, oh, that was really good. Or you normally, you know, drink Blanton's, but you go to the bar one night and you say, oh my God, they got Pappy. I'm going to take a $300 plus.
There you go.
So the unicorn's not going to be your everyday cigar, but it's that celebratory thing. And it's one of the things that makes Steve very nervous is, you know, we guarantee all of it. If for some reason you've got an issue with a unicorn, you had something that, you know, disappointed you, it didn't operate properly, contact us. We'll find a way to replace it, and we'll get it to you.
Wow.
What Steve said is, his concern becomes he can't replace that moment.
Right.
So if you save this unicorn and you're going to smoke it on your wedding night and you light it up and it has a draw problem, you can't get that moment back.
Right.
The cigar could be replaced, but you can't get the moment back. And that becomes the concern when you make something that is, you know, super premium, super high end, and becomes that, you know, that experience and moment in time stick. That becomes the concern.
Well, I got to ask you though. I got to ask you this, David. So, and this is probably confidential information, so if you can't tell me, I'll edit this out. How many people have called you and said the unicorn didn't work out? 2. Wow. Wow. That's impressive.
Steve said it. He goes, if I was buying a unicorn, I was a scumbag, I'd call immediately before I even looked the thing up. That it wasn't good to try and get another one out of the deal.
Right.
It's only been, I believe.
Wow. Well, I do know. I know you know Brent over at the train car.
Yes. Yeah, actually, I was talking with Brent. I was supposed to try and arrange to come out and see Brent.
He told me
when I was going to come out. Yeah, I was, but the entire thing, fell apart with coming out. But I know that Brent's giving us good support, really good guy. We've done a couple Zoom calls and whatnot, and I know he's about 3 hours outside of Dallas Fort Worth area, and I know that becomes the central point.
he's only about an hour and a half from me, and I just went over there Friday, and I told him that you were going to be on the show Monday, and he was like, "Oh, I got to get back with him because we're supposed to talk about what XYZ." And anyway,
I told him I was going to follow up with him this week about it. Yeah.
Well,
I skipped the beat. The stuff got canceled out, and I didn't reach out to him.
I promised him I would bring that up to you.
Oh, absolutely.
But
absolutely. I'm looking forward to stuff. But I'm also looking forward to there's that. There's a oh my God, I feel like an idiot, completely skipping my brain. But it's just like Southern Texas, middle of nowhere. Nobody goes out and visits, but they're a really good customer of ours.
Oh, awesome.
And it's off the beaten path, and nobody goes and visits. So it's one of those things that I look around the territory, and there's just some spots that I want to get out to and show a little bit of love and appreciation to, because I know as a customer for things that I do personally, you never want to just feel like a number. You don't want to feel like you're taken for granted, like, oh well, it's just nice to be thanked. And a lot of times when I go out, it's a little bit of a thank you tour. And now, because there isn't going to be a IPCPR/PCA trade show, a lot of times you get that time once a year to see people that you don't really get to spend a lot of time with. So missing out on that, I want to get out and have an opportunity to do that.
Well, I don't know about you, but some of those shops that are off the beaten path or out in the middle of nowhere are some of the best shops too.
Absolutely. And a lot of those shops, even strictly business-wise, a lot of those shops that are ignored, you can very easily, I don't want to say very easily, but without a tremendous amount of work, by paying attention and going to places that other people ignore, they can be a tier one customer for you. I mean, you can really take a customer in a short period of time from doing $3,000 a year with you to $30,000 a year with you, because their customers fall in love with you. The consumers that come in are just so happy that you're there and you treat them well, that you get this great friendship and camaraderie, and it becomes a really just other than just being a decent. I tell people all the time, it costs you nothing to be a decent human being.
Absolutely.
And just trying to the golden rule: treat people like you'd want to be treated. I don't want anybody ever to think that we're like the cable company who just really don't.
Oh,
give a damn.
right.
Oh, you want to leave? Okay, fine, whatever. But I mean, that being said, there's also situations where sometimes the juice is not worth the squeeze, and sometimes you have to fire your customers.
Sure.
And I tell shops the same thing. Like, they'll have people that come in and we, you'll have somebody that's walking towards the shop. You'll have 8 people that are hanging out doing their thing, having a really good time. The guy shows up, they're like, oh, this guy, and everybody's gone. And we sort of refer to that person as shop life. When a person walks through the door, it's just, everybody's just like, your skin gets itchy and that's it. We got to go. I don't want to be here anymore. And you're like, you got to find a way to get rid of that guy.
Yeah,
like,
every shop has them.
$1,000 with me for the year, but he has driven a lot of other customers away, or just made the experience terrible. So
yeah, I think every shop has one of those. I
definitely want to get up there with Brent. I told him that I wanted to come out and do something when I was going to come out that way. And it's still, traveling is still a little bit weird right now. And I think part of it, a lot of parts of the country, it's very much back to business as usual, sort of. But because I am so close to New York City, and it was really the epicenter, and there's a lot of stuff that went on. My wife's friend was over yesterday, and luckily she's fine now, but she had been very, very ill, and she lived in New York City, and she's very lucky to be healthy and be back to being okay. But she caught COVID at a dinner party with a group of people that they had, and she had been with us and our family 2 days before she went.
Oh wow!
So it very much could have been transposed with her visit, and we all would have been dinged up. But it's still a very active thing around us. So just sort of looking at overall travel, want people to be just comfortable and makes sense, to get out and do it.
Well, I can completely understand the difference of being in New York and being in Texas, because down here in Texas, we are just business as usual pretty much by now. But at the same time, we do want to keep everybody safe. But when you get the opportunity to go down to the train car, it's a unique, in fact, that was where we did our very first show, was at the train car, just because I love that place. It's such a unique situation, a layout. They have two train cars one is the humidor and bar, and the one next door is a lounge car, and then they have a great patio, and then they have a huge outdoor courtyard that you can smoke in too. So it is a great setup.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it myself and getting on out there.
Well, you got to let me know when you're going to be out there, because I'll come over there and hang out and smoke cigars too.
Absolutely. That'd be great. That would be absolutely awesome. I'd enjoy that.
Well, awesome. Well, hey man, tell everybody where they can find your cigars. They can find you guys. How does the consumer level connect with you guys?
Oh man. So we're in about 300 brick and mortars around the country, 300 plus. We are around. It's a funny thing in this business, and people ask, "Oh, where should I go to get this?" And I say we love all our children, and it's hard to you're not supposed to recommend one over the other. But if people are looking for Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust, you can Google that in. There's a retailer link. So if you go to dttcigars.com, there's a retailer locator. On there, and you can put in your zip code and find out who's your local brick and mortar near you. Have it on out that way. That's some of the best thing to not to keep it as PC as possible.
Right.
And I know that when people are listening to it, I'm going to get that text like, "Yeah, you didn't recommend me." Like, I can't recommend you over the other.
Right.
But, it's just how it works out. But we do have a retailer, and our website itself is, I don't completely want to use the word obsolete, but for people that were a little bit on the bleeding edge of technology and cigar website to begin with, because Steve, was way back when, like the alt smokers page and things like that, Cigar Nexus. It looks like we probably used the same thing from back then. So it's not the easiest thing to try and navigate. And
we'll put up a link just so if anybody wants to try to navigate your website, they'll be able to find it.
Yeah, it's DunbartonCigars.com. I gave you the wrong one. I gave you what's in my email address.
I got you.
It's DunbartonCigars.com, and then we have a purveyors link, and it will bring you to who you're looking for.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
That is the sort of, yeah. So we're actually going to go through and have a little bit of the culling of the herd at some of the shops that are on there, because some of them, we've gotten some complaints for our customers that, I went there and they only carry this or they only carry that. So we're trying to figure out a good way to clean it, to give the shops that are true supporting shops. When you get there, you get a good Dunbarton experience.
Absolutely.
DunbartonCigars.com.
Well, yeah, and I'll throw this back up before we go. I guess it's been about 2 years ago, whenever the unicorns first came out, Brent actually had 30 people buy the unicorn out of Big Spring, Texas, which is pretty impressive. And anyway, I want to say about 22 guys got together at his lounge and all enjoyed that cigar together.
That's awesome. The funny thing about the unicorn is you will either sell none or you'll sell a ton.
Right.
So if the retailer has them in stock, it's like, nothing attracts a crowd like a crowd. And if the retailer has them in stock, you'll be doing a regular event, that somebody say, "Oh, you got a unicorn. I want one." And then next thing you know, there becomes this line of, "Oh, I want one too." And, "Oh, I got to try that too." And everybody wants to be the big ass and show up there spending $100 on a cigar.
Right.
God bless them. I'm happy that you're doing it. But Steve had first told me that, listen, you're going to do events, and either you're going to sell none or you're going to sell every stick that they have in stock. And we had some people that show up because we actually make a display tray for it now. And Steve refers to it, holds 7 cigars in this like wooden display tray, and Steve calls it it's a stable for the humidor. It's a stable for the unicorn. And you have people that want to buy the entire 7 count display tray. It's $700, and if you're in a state that actually has tobacco tax on top of that, it could be a significant. It could be $1,000. People are like, oh, I want that, and it really happens with Steve there. Nobody cares about me signing anything, but it's socket there. Like, socket aside, and I tell people, I'm like, I'm just but when people do ask me to sign something, and it's still a strange feeling. I sign it like it's a high school yearbook. And I just, it's the same thing that I sign up for everybody. Have a great summer. Stay cool, Lafferty. Like, that's my signature on anything that people have me to do it for. It's like a high school yearbook. So
nice. Well, I like it. Well, Dave, we appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to hang out with us and let our listeners get to know you guys. And I highly recommend your cigar line. I mean, it's what I say is rock solid. And what I mean by that is you have the blend, of course, but the construction is fantastic. And I mean, I don't care how good the blend is. If your construction's not good, I don't enjoy the smoke. So you guys have it all put together, and it's really an amazing line of cigars. So thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with us.
Wonderful. Thank you, Rob. I greatly appreciate you having me on here. Thank you for all the support, and it's been great chatting with you, and I will definitely let you know when I make my way on out.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. Look forward to it as well. Take care, brother.
Absolutely. Thank you, man. Be well. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, man, don't hang up yet.
Oh, okay.
I could say that. I have to say that so you know when we quit recording. But anyway,
okay, got it.
Hey, so I don't know how you guys work with like individuals who are doing like online sales, but I want to throw this at you. Cigar Talk is actually about to start doing online sales as part of our website. And our thought process is we're not going to carry very many cigars. We're only going to carry like what we like to consider the hidden gems in the industry. And so it's going to be all top quality cigars. It's not going to be a, Cigar International where we're making deals. It's where we're offering what we're smoking on the show. So would that be something that we'd be able to set up with you guys, or y'all don't do online sales?
It has to be whatever you need for tobacco, the proper tobacco licenses.
Right.
We deal with the Pollers. Ryan Pollers are our broker out there in California, Texas. So he goes through that stuff. But yeah, I mean, we could open an account of sorts. It's not an issue at all, as long as the licensing is proper.
Oh, absolutely. Well,
I'm not sure which licenses are needed. It's like it's some sort of a distributor license. The Texas has a couple different things.
Right.
Excuse me. So it's just based off of that. Just make sure that everything's the right thing that we need. If you want, I can have him reach out.
Yeah, that would be fantastic if you don't mind. We're in the very, very early stages, but it just seems to be the natural progression of the show because we get so many people asking where we get this, where we get that, and I can't tell someone in California where they can get the stick I'm smoking. So we decided, you know what? Let's just have our own online store, but only carry like special cigar brands that we actually enjoy. And we're real big on boutique lines. I'm not knocking them, but I don't smoke anything from Altadas or General or something like that just because it's not something that I enjoy. But we would love to work out something with you guys because we love your cigars.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, definitely interested, and I can have Ryan. I'll have Ryan give you a shout.
That'd be awesome, man.
Ryan, reach out.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, hey, man, thank you so much. I think it'd be a great interview, and we'll be talking to you soon. Let me know when you're coming out to West Texas.
I will. Definitely. Thank you.
All right, David. Thank you, sir. Oh, thank you, bud. You too. Bye-bye. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that interview with David Lafferty. What a great guy and great cigar company.
100%.
I mean, I'm a fan. I would like to have those locally available.
Yeah.
But maybe that happened in the near future.
Conversations.
Yes. So, hey, we wanted to have a remembrance of a brother of the leaf that passed away recently. His name was Barry Michael Cusano. Great part of the cigar community, always an easygoing guy. He's one of those guys that people turn to at the lounge when they had something to talk about.
Yeah.
And he was just always a positive force. You know what I mean? Anyway, he was also a proud member of the Barrel Burners.
Yes, sir.
and he was a wonderful husband and a proud father. And, you get to know people in the cigar community, and it's not just people it's family.
No, most definitely.
So when we lose somebody from the family, we like to recognize them and just, remember what a great thing that they did for the community. So our thoughts and prayers go out to the family,
100%.
and we know he will be missed. So anyway, it's that time of the show. We're going to do the Moose Mountain Goods coffee giveaway.
Moose Mountain Goods.
Now, make sure you go by and register if you're not registered already.
Free.
Yes, free. So we are going to do the giveaway. Now, to claim your prize, here's how it works. We send out the show. You have to notify Cigar Talk back before Sunday at 18 Hundo or 6 p.m. Central.
Dude, this Hundo. Just as bad as me and Fo
and Hundo. So anyway, this week's winner, congratulations, Sean O'Connor. And so what you got to do is send me an email. It says Cigar Talk winner in the subject line.
That's all you have to say.
Well, down in the body of the email, I want you to put your name, how you want your coffee. Do you want bean or do you want it ground? And then your address.
Yes.
That's all you got to do. We'll get that sent out to you right away.
Actual physical address.
Well, what other address would they give?
Oh, they can give a P.O. box that's in New Orleans and they live in Florida.
Well, maybe they're visiting in Florida and they got a P.O. box.
Well, your beans will be sitting in a P.O. box.
I think it'd be all right if you give us a P.O. box if you check your mail.
If you check your mail,
Yes,
that's correct.
So, anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this week. Hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back this coming weekend with some big news. We got something new on the horizon, so you're not going to want to miss out next week's news. This coming Saturday, make sure you swing by to hang out on the Herf Saturday night. Since Bryant never shows up, maybe you could take his place. So we know you're going to be there soon.
Yes, sir.
But you're going to be traveling.
Yes, sir.
So you won't be able to make it Saturday.
I'll be in Illinois.
Illinois.
Yeah.
You ought to hook up with
I'm supposed to. With Nick them. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. Well, let me tell you, I'm going to give you a little bit of advice.
What's that?
Keep your distance with that gator. Have you talked to Gator?
I've heard him.
That's a weird. That's a weird dude. That's a real weird dude.
I'm going back home where I was a cop, so I don't have to worry about a lot.
So let me tell you, if you guys haven't heard, I was actually a guest on the Cigar Pulpit this last week, and that episode's available. But if you do go listen to it, be fair warned, it's a little off the cuff. It's not PG rated.
It's the After Dark Rob.
Yeah, and the
After Dark and Dickel Rob.
So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the show this week. We'll talk to you next week again. Until next time,
keep smoking.